From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Our top stories this week. We report on the improvements being made to the SAB-Miller Alrode brewery. We have a look at South Africa's industrial design industry through the eyes of one of our most successful designers. And we look at mining equipment solutions provider Pilot CrushTech as it celebrates 20 years in the South African industry. Brewer SAB-Miller's Alrode brewery is spending about 1.5 million rand to improve the throughput of its warehouse, while also placing greater emphasis on best operational practices. TRACY HANCOCK reports.
The improvement of the logistics at Alrode warehouse will include moving administrative functions from its main gate into the warehouse, the construction of an additional truck bay, and the installation of a bay monitoring system. SAB-Miller Alrode warehouse manager Nick Gelderman explains.
We've embarked on a process to reduce the turnaround time by managing our throughput through our warehouse by, first of all, have a similar process as what the airport's using. We call it a bay occupation monitor, where it will give an indication to the incoming trucks whether a bay is open or not. And then once in a bay, there would be a robot system that will basically, it's a tool for management and for the controllers and for the forklift drivers to manage the time that they load and unload the truck.
SAB-Miller has also relaunched its drive to meet the standards of best operational practices in terms of hygiene, says SAB-Miller Alrode Packaging Unit Manager Bongani Radebe.
We just focusing on improving our hygiene by making sure that everything or every bottle that we fill is actually filled to the best operating standards in terms of hygiene and clean, and focusing also in filling those bottles at sterile conditions as far as possible.
Top local designer Brian Steinhobel's product designs have received global recognition. However, he believes that the local industrial design industry doesn't receive enough support. Petronel Smith reports.
Industrial design is an underestimated industry in South Africa that has the potential to make a significant difference to the country's economy if the necessary support and funding becomes available. Designer Brian Steinhobel explains the challenges and benefits of industrial design as a profession.
Currently, the industrial design industry in South Africa is sadly very small. And I do think that, if you look at the economies of specifically Korea, Taiwan, and in those Asian places where a few decades ago there was billions of dollars injected into those economies, the impact is enormous. So sadly, our government, our country, our continent hasn't embraced design and actually utilized the effect of design where it could be. We've got a very small output of designers. We only qualify a handful a year, where literally in those small regions they're producing thousands a year. It qualifies people not only as industrial designers, but they make magnificent factory foremen that have a deep understanding of the design process and the product development process. So the state of industrial design in this country is sadly very, very thin and going south at a very quick rate. We import ourselves to death in this country, and we need to start exporting ourselves alive, because the ability is here. As I say, hopefully we can drum up more support. Design, when applied, is a magnificent business weapon and strategy into the future.
Pilot CrushTech, which sold over 3,500 products since its establishment, recently celebrated its anniversary at an open day in Jet Park, Johannesburg. Megan Waite reports.
With 20 years behind them, the company is now looking forward to expanding its divisions to reach other industries. Sandra Schiff tells us more.
We have become significant players in our industry. We've got a product line second to none. So our prospects hinge and revolve around those products. However, we're continuously adding new products. So our growth is probably in the short term definitely going to be organic. So we'll keep on growing the products, the product lines, the industries we're moving into. And then we've noticed or realized that Africa is a significant growth area. We're selling into most of Southern Africa already. We have a 3 or 4 strong sales force that focus entirely on Africa. That's their job, that's all they do. And the results are paying off. We've tied up with someone in Tanzania, and we're hoping to end up with ties in each country with somebody that will represent us. The biggest challenge at the moment in terms of growing our exports is the high cost of manufacturing in South Africa. It's a very worrying trend. I'm concerned about the future of manufacturing here because it's really far too expensive to build stuff in South Africa.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.